Welcome into Kitchen Talk Pickleball Edition. I'm your host, Caitlin Miller, and now joining us this week is Nick O'Brien, the CEO of Teach Me To, which is essentially a one-stop shop platform for things like pickleball, tennis, golf. So Nick, thank you so much for joining us and tell us a little bit about this platform you created.
Yeah, Kalen, thanks for having me. Excited to be here. You can think about Teach Me To as the easy way to get started. So what we set out to build was the best place in the world for someone who's a beginner, new to a sport, looking to take up a new hobby like pickleball, like golf, like tennis. You can simply go to our website, browse local coaches, and see the locations they teach at, their available times. They're going to sync their schedules. And so in just a few taps, you can actually have a lesson booked. You can download our mobile app to manage that lesson experience, chat with your coach, and book follow-on lessons. So your entire learning journey is something that we'll support you with. And we've seen, pretty awesome feedback so far.
That's awesome. And I know we spoke about this earlier. It's like, in Nashville, when I first moved here, I was looking for pickleball lessons, and you kind of have to like go and search, Facebook. There wasn't really, I didn't know about Teach Me To at the time. So just knowing that this exists, I mean, when and where did you see the need for something like this?
Yeah, so it's a very fragmented market, and the need arose just like trying to navigate the process of booking a local lesson. And, there's a lot of amazing coaches out there, but not everyone's a self-promoter or professional marketer, knows how to design the perfect website. And so you end up with a million different formats of information, price, reviews. You have to pick up the phone to call some and text others. And so trying to create a consistent experience when you're in those early stages, you're navigating, finding a coach that's a good fit for you. Maybe you want to try lessons with multiple coaches at a time and see who you really resonate with. And, trying to enable that experience is what inspires us.
And on Teach Me To, I mean, you can get lessons for tennis, golf, surfing. When did you decide to add pickleball, and how popular would you say that is on Teach Me To?
It was actually very early on. We started with surfing in San Diego, and we thought that this was a very important market opportunity. We knew that there was a lot of pain from students not being able to find great coaches, and we thought, if we can't get this to work for surfing in San Diego, what nothing's going to work, right? There's so many people who want to learn to surf here, and so. From there, we figured out how to make the product work, how to make two strangers who have met on the internet feel comfortable and excited to meet up in person for a lesson together. And then from there, we just started looking at, okay, where else is there a big need for this? And um, pickleball, my grandfather is a longtime tennis coach. He runs a lot of the paddle tennis in Chicago area. And so I was very familiar with racket sports growing up, and, was keeping an eye on the rise of pickleball, and so knew there was a big opportunity there. So, after surfing, golf, pickleball, tennis were kind of, things that we chased somewhat in parallel up the coast of California and then across the US. And, we've managed with a very small team to figure out how to scale nationally. And it's been amazing to see just the amount of uptake from coaches. We're now in almost every US city, and pickleball is a huge portion of the business, equal sizes actually to golf and tennis.
Wow, that's crazy to see it grow so
Yeah.
quickly like it is. And you said too, I mean, you guys are the biggest pickleball platform in the world for lessons, doing what, more than 100 lessons per day. So, yeah, talk to me about like the trends you are seeing with this sport.
Yeah, we did a 2023 trends report where we wanted to better understand our coach network because we have so many and we can only talk to so many at a time. So we did a big survey. We found some really interesting things. A lot of coaches who had longer experience than you would think with a newer sport like pickleball, many with 5, 10 years of experience in the sport, not just a bunch of kind of newcomers who are overconfident and think that they know everything there is to know about pickleball. Really, a lot of there's a lot of veterans in the space that have, deeper knowledge and are helping beginners come to the game, which is cool. We enable a lot of side hustlers as well, which I think is a really powerful thing about our marketplace. And anyone, even those who have a 9 to 5 job don't have the time to start and manage and invest in a coaching practice, can still get listed on our site. We'll help them make an amazing profile. It's going to resonate with people. And then they can upload just whenever they are available, whether it's Saturday and Sunday mornings or, after work during the week. And we've seen uh, really positive feedback from them. Many of them say they love it more than their job, which is cool, and can actually be a meaningful source of income for many people too.
That's great. And there's a little bit of a process too, right? Like if I'm looking for a specific type of instructor, you can kind of check those boxes so that it matches you right with the right coach.
Exactly. Yeah. Some of the key things that students care about is, of course, skill level. Is this someone who can teach beginners and is patient? Is this someone who prefers more to work with advanced students? Um, Age level matters a lot. Some people might be better suited for kids. We've actually, in pickleball in particular, have, quite a few coaches who actually specialize in working with older folks, who are, in some cases, even physical therapists who can help with preventative play and actually strategies to help prevent injury, which I think is pretty cool. And so there's all kinds of different things that people look for. And then, of course, badges, certifications, things like that, we try to make very visible and easy to sort through.
That's awesome. And so let's say I'm someone looking to get a pickleball lesson through Teach Me To. Walk me through the process. How do you sign up and register for it?
Yeah, so if you're looking to get a lesson, there's no sign up required to actually browse our coaching network. Like Airbnb, you can go to the site, you can see all the available coach listings. You can search the map, so you can type in your location or just share it with the website, and then you'll see, a bunch of locations near you, hopefully, with different coach options. And every coach is their own entrepreneur. They're resourceful. Some have access to private courts. Some have built venue relationships. Some work with their local parks and rec departments. So it will depend on, where you are and what the options are. But, we've worked really hard to build a great selection. And then you actually can watch, many coaches have coach intro videos, which is something we've invested a lot in. We actually send content creators to a number of coaches. I think it's very important to use video to really create that connection. Given this is someone that you haven't met before, that you're going to be spending a lot of time with, and we want to give everyone a lens into who this person is and what's their vibe, and is this someone that I'm going to want to spend an hour with, or 10 hours with over the next month.
Yeah, definitely. And it was funny, I was actually browsing through your website this morning. I saw quite a few people that are on your website as coaches that I know in Nashville. So it's
That's
great to
awesome.
see. Yeah, I love it. And then, yeah, on the flip side of things, let's say, I am a certified instructor. I want to be a coach for Teach Me To. How does that process look?
Yeah, so today we are relatively selective. About 10% or so of coaches who apply are listed on the platform. We hope that will continue to evolve over time, but we're very protective of the customer experience. So because of that, there is, an application process. You're going to fill out your background, your accolades, why you want to really teach the sport, the types of, students you work with. You're actually going to collect a few reviews from existing students, and use those as an input as well. And from there, we have a team that will actually, reach out. You'll have kind of a quick phone screen, and then we'll actually get to work on helping you craft your profile, hopefully collecting great content. If you don't have any yet, we'll usually try to provide some resources to help create that. And then, within a few days from applying, hopefully you're up and running with a profile, and we aim to help people get their first booking as quickly as possible after that.
Wow, that's great. It's such a thorough process.
Yeah, yeah, we want to allow anyone who loves teaching and wants to coach, the opportunity to in the long run, and continue to make it more of an open market and allow the best coaches to rise to the top. In order to get there, we need to really build trust with students, and so we're more careful to filter for more experienced coaches, and in the long run, I'm very optimistic that we can continue to open it up and provide more and more of a true open market where anyone can choose the best option for them.
Yeah, and I think that's so important, just having quality over quantity and just having amazing coaches that people are raving about, because then obviously that helps your reputation. And one thing too I loved, because I've obviously taken lessons for a lot of sports. It's like, you work on something, you want to get good on, let's say for pickleball, like a third shot drop, and your coach gives you a drill to work on, and let's say you forget about that. So on Teach Me To, you can actually get on the platform, communicate with these coaches even after your lessons, and ask them questions.
That's right. Yeah, and we're building features for supporting that interaction as fast as we can because it's clear how important it is. So today there's things like messaging, and you can send media back and forth, and you know links to YouTube videos and everything like that. And we're working on really making it even better for tracking your goals and your progress, and after lesson reports and things like that. Um, and yeah, it's really powerful to be able to, have that touch point, make it easy to check in. And for coaches, it really helps not having to manage, 20 different student interactions in iMessage and trying to keep all those contacts organized and everything like that. And we try to give coaches the tools to be able to manage everything in one place and, make it super easy to take notes on students, remember what they need to work on for next time, and that's ultimately our goal, is to make the process really easy for both sides.
And how long, talk to me a little bit about like how long each lesson is. Can you get private, semi-private, group, or yeah, talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so today we have a standard 1 hour lesson increment. That we'll evolve that over time to also offer 30 minute increments, but that was, sort of a matter of convenience. And as you said, quality over quantity. The more we can standardize elements of the platform, the more we can ensure that there's kind of the same level of quality across the marketplace. When we have hundreds of times more coaches than members of our team, and so we do our best to really manage that by having less variables that change between lessons. Um, when you are taking that hour lesson, privates are the most popular type. However, we also allow for up to 3 students booked, kind of with our instant book functionality. So coaches have committed to teaching up to 3 students at a time. For pickleball, it's often called a 3 and me lesson, where your coach will actually get on the court with you, and you'll do actually kind of play style drilling, where you're playing doubles, which is very cool. And for those kind of larger groups beyond 3 students, we have a team that will actually help do coordination. We think of those typically more as events, but we've had corporate offsites and birthday parties and all sorts of fun large events that we enjoy coordinating. Um, we've got a partnership with a company called Swimply that has a lot of private pickleball courts listed across the U.S. And so we have access to a lot of awesome kind of pickleball event spaces that we'll use to help set those up.
That's great, because that was one of the things I, teach lessons sometimes, not enough to have like a huge group of clients. And so some people didn't necessarily just want to keep having privates. They wanted to do kind of like the 3 and me, but it was hard for me to figure out like, okay, who else is a beginner? Who else is intermediate? And just like trying to connect those
Yeah,
people. So I think this is so critical and has like so much even more potential for growth as more people, find out about this platform. And so like I guess comparing to sports, like let's say tennis, golf, surfing, they've been around for so long. How does that compare, I guess, with pickleball on your platform? Like, has it grown really quickly, or do you see people, not using the platform as much as those other sports and kind of the competition with other companies with that?
Yeah, so I would say one interesting thing about pickleball is we find, that a lot of people are using lessons in a way that is unique, where it's a true 101. They want to buy, a 3 lesson pack, and they want to use that to quickly figure out what are the rules of pickleball, how do I keep score, where do I keep put my feet, and how am I going to get to a skill level where like I'm confident that I can show up and have fun with my friends and not embarrass myself. And that's like a pretty common use case we see that I think is, you know, a bit different and a bit less common in sports like golf and tennis that have been around for so long, and many people, played it a little bit when they were younger. Those dynamics still happen in golf and tennis, but you see, probably a heavier skew toward beginners who really want to learn the fundamentals in pickleball, from a lesson standpoint, and probably a bit more skewed toward advanced players who are really trying to take their game to the next level in golf and tennis. But with that said, we've even noticed as we've grown, an increasing number of really advanced players. Part of that, I think, has come from having more, pro circuit coaches, 5-0 duper coaches who actually can, hold their own with really elite players. And it's been cool and rewarding to see, that actually some top players who, may have, nationals under their belts, and kind of the 4-0, 4-5 category are using our platform to find, the top coaches in their area to keep getting better. And one other interesting use case we've seen is when people are traveling, and they really need like an elite hitting partner. Sometimes they'll actually go to our site to find a top rated coach nearby and book a lesson with them in order to get access to that.
Wow, that's awesome. I never even thought to use it for that. That's
Yeah.
cool. And then in terms of people using the platform for pickleball, would you say like younger people, older people, or just a complete mix?
It's a complete mix. We see a lot of concentration in kind of the 35 to 55 age range, but truly have seen students from every single age bracket. It really is a sport for everyone, and I think that one of the key findings of our annual report was actually that, the age range is starting to skew younger year over year, which was interesting. So I think that we, from a which age group is the most popular, I think it's that 45 to 55 age range still. But with that kind of 35 to 45 age group really kind of gaining momentum year over year.
And since there aren't, many platforms, at least to my knowledge, that exist like this, like what do you see the future for this? Like for Teach Me To, where do you see this going? I guess both short term and long term.
Yeah, in the short term, we really want to continue to become the very best platform for sports lessons, for pickleball lessons. You mentioned competitors earlier, and we there's not much competition, with us in the pickleball lesson space. We think we can really become the top player there. Continue to gain more awareness today. The way most people find us is with a Google search, and we don't have a ton of kind of broader brand awareness. We haven't done any, Super Bowl commercials or anything like that. So, we want to continue to build that awareness in the short term and become, a lasting player in the pickleball world. And then long term, there's a lot of similarities between what it takes to give great lessons in pickleball and what it takes to give great lessons in golf, and what it takes to give great lessons in guitar and piano and painting. And so we think that we can continue to translate the tools and the platform we've built into local learning of all kinds. And that's ultimately our end goal is, Teach Me To is, um, a bigger mission. We want to make getting started easy for everyone, and picking up a new hobby should be as easy as going to our website and looking at the map and choosing a skill and finding your coach. And today that's not the case for many of these hobbies.
And I know you mentioned you play pickleball like once a month. You're a huge golfer. Is that kind of what inspired you? I'm just so interested. It's so niche. Like, what inspired you to get into this?
Yeah, I love learning new things. I growing up, I was type of person who wouldn't really try something unless I knew I could get good at it. And so as a result, every time I do try something, I have this like relentless drive to get good at it as fast as I can. And often that means like going to expert sources, watching YouTube, things like that. But there's something to how much faster you can learn when you have a skilled person in the room with you or by your side. And, I learned in golf that, you know, years of frustration at the range can be helped with just working with a great swing coach for a few sessions. And pickleball, I didn't even know I wasn't even playing right for a while until I really played with some skilled players who helped me understand like how to actually drive the ball properly and really get my footwork dialed in the kitchen. So all that to say, I think that people can have more fun doing these things. It can be so rewarding to have someone invested in the journey with you, or where you're not alone. And so giving everyone that opportunity, making it super accessible to have private coaching that maybe historically is something that was kind of considered this elite thing for the ultra wealthy. I think that the truth is today, and with the gig economy, everyone can afford private coaching, and we want to make that possible.
And I think that's the great thing about, I'd say, pickleball, tennis. It's like you can kind of grab a few friends, go out on a public court and hit. And so it's nice to see, especially for people wanting to get better or wanting to keep up with their friends, to also have an affordable option to get these lessons too, and to just, be more confident. And like you said, find that hobby. I feel like everyone should have that healthy hobby. And obviously, you live in Nick lives in California, one of the
Yeah.
greatest places to do all of these hobbies. So that's just so amazing to see. And you said too, the coaches on your team are pretty diverse, right? They're all different ages, come from different skilled backgrounds. Has that been kind of cool to hear all their stories and to hire these people on your team?
Yeah, yeah, it's been really cool to see, yeah, the diversity of coaches. We have some who are very well successful professionals who have careers, and this is just almost a way for them to give back, and it's because it's sharing the thing they love. We have others who, are recent D1 athletes who are not really sure what they want to do next and see this as like, well, what if I could just continue to do my sport and be involved in it, and maybe I can actually, build up my own coaching practice. And so it's been, really cool to see all the different ways that people want to get involved and their different motivations. And, you know, some of our top coaches are taking home, four or $5,000 a month on the platform. So it's close to really being it is a meaningful income stream today for some people, and it's close to actually being potentially something you can support a family on, which is crazy to think.
Yeah, that is crazy to live and work on the pickleball court. That's so
Yeah.
nice. And for someone looking for a lesson, do you pay like monthly, kind of like a subscription, or do you just pay by the lesson? And I know you also mentioned the option of doing some packages as well.
Yeah, so you pay by the lesson. We offer packages in order to, provide deeper discounts for people who want to commit. Basically, the way our pricing model works is coaches will set a rate, and we'll apply a small markup on top of that, and then basically a one-time membership fee that covers essentially our advertising costs. We try to keep it as balanced as possible, and so, if you buy just a single lesson, those costs are higher, and then we can provide more and more savings the more lessons you purchase. And so um, over time, as you come back and take more lessons, it gets cheaper and cheaper because we no longer need to recoup those advertising costs, right? So it's something that you can really save money on, especially if you bring some friends. And we do our best to give coaches the resources they need to understand what is a competitive price in my area, who's charging the most, who's charging the least, and make an informed decision.
And have you noticed, you talked a little bit about advertising. Do you guys use, social media a lot to kind of get the word out there about your platform? I know you said you also kind of work with content creators with the coaches as well. I'm sure that helps too. But I guess, yeah, in this day and age, what do you kind of do to get that word out there about Teach Me Too?
Yeah, our primary channel today is search, where we're um, taking as big a share as we can of people who are actively looking for lessons. So someone types in pickleball lessons near me, we're fighting really hard to be at the top of that search, and today we are in many cases. Social media is something that we're continuing to invest in to the extent we can, and we've started to really build out as much content there as possible. Something that we've started to do is actually feature our coaches on social media and give them a little bit of a spotlight and encourage them to share it with their audiences. And so those are definitely the two big channels: Google, Meta, the giant tech players that everyone advertises on, and then we're also really bullish on word of mouth and just our ability to give incentives and resources to students to tell their friends about this awesome experience they've had, and coaches as well.
Well, Nick, I mean, this is such an exciting platform. I can't wait to see it grow and to tell people, at least in Nashville, about this community. And just for anyone looking literally across the world for lessons or to become a coach, definitely check out Teach Me To. Nick, thank you so much for joining us and stay tuned to see who will join us in the kitchen next time.